The text messaging part of Grower's Edge is very handy because every day I'll receive a text that shows me where the best local market is.
That's what I like about Grower's Edge too. It gives me the information I want on my smartphone so that if I'm not in the office, I still get the information that I need.
Good afternoon and welcome to GrainTV. It's May 15, 2013. To my right is Cody Bills and I'm Brock Shimano. A slightly negative day in Chicago today. Let's turn to the fire tip to see where we ended. Corn was down 1 3/4 cents for a July contract. Soybeans off 2 cents. Wheat in Chicago for July, the leader of the downside, down 17 1/4. And Kansas City was following along, down 15 1/2. You know, Cody, we did see wheat be the leader of the downside, but corn and soybeans look like they took a little bit of a breather. Maybe some technical selling around those levels we were talking about yesterday. But we did get some fundamental news out here this morning, but it didn't really seem to drive the markets for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. We had two pieces of news that came out onto the markets today. We had the ethanol production and stocks report. We also had the NOPA crush numbers. Brock, you can get into that right after the ethanol numbers here. For ethanol, it was really actually some pretty decent numbers. The production of ethanol was actually at the marketing year high. It tied about 2 weeks ago. We had 857,000 barrels per day. That was up 14,000 barrels per day from last week. We also saw an improved crush margin in Iowa. We actually saw the crush margin go from about $1.70 a bushel up to about $1.90 a bushel. That's good to see, and that definitely helps out production. If you look at the model here, though, you know, these numbers, they didn't really drive prices of corn here directionally one way or another today. We saw a little bit of chopping around. But if you look at where we are in terms of meeting the USDA's forecast here, you'll notice that we have been able to achieve better numbers than the green line. The green line is our forecast for ethanol production based on the seasonality. The blue line is what we saw last year. Now, we're nowhere near what we saw last year, but we are coming in a little better than our forecast. Either way, with these numbers, we're revising our forecast a little. We're saying that we think that we could see about 4.5 billion bushels of corn going to ethanol production, and that's a little bit deviating from current USDA forecast. They revised it up 50 million bushels in the last WASI report, and they're sitting about 1.6 billion bushels going to ethanol production. So, you know, we're really going to need to see a pickup here in this last part of the marketing year if we're going to meet the USDA's forecast. If we kind of stay right around where we've been forecasting, I think they're going to have to come back down.
You know, I think the corn fundamentals here have been a little bit more supportive lately of the corn market. If we turn attention to soybeans, we've been seeing the soybean demand really slow down there. And today we did get the NOPA crush numbers. If we take a look at the table and the actual numbers that we did see out today, for April, NOPA was reporting 120 million bushels being crushed at facilities across the country. The average of the analyst guess that we reported yesterday was 125.5 million bushels. So we fell well below that, and we actually fell below the range that they were predicting too. So that really was what drove the market for just a little bit here today. And let's take a look at a minute chart on that soybean contract for July. Take a look here. What we're looking at is each bar is 1 minute of price action here. You can see this is right where the NOPA crush numbers were released, right around 10 o'clock Mountain Time here, 11 o'clock Central. You can see that right after those numbers were reported, we did fall about 8 to 10 cents right down to here. We were trading at 14.14, came down to about 14.06 or so. You know, so that does show the importance of, you know, paying attention to these reports. Don't necessarily, you know, put a lot of stock in some of these reports, but it is important to have these on your radar as we move throughout the trade day.
Yeah, absolutely, Brock. You know, it looks like we reacted immediately to those numbers, but then recovered by the end of the day, and really it didn't see a whole lot of change in price from when those numbers were released early on. So, you know, obviously, like you said, that these numbers are important. They do impact the trade throughout the day, but they don't necessarily change the fundamentals. They aren't necessarily game changers in the longer term fundamental picture. If you have any questions about what we talked about today, please give us a call at 877-472-4607. You can visit us at our website and take a demo of the Fire Tip Trading Platform, which is what you saw here today. Once again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you here tomorrow.